Hello, everyone. Ron Callis here. Thanks for joining me for another episode of Automation Unplugged. And it is right now about 12:32, just starting a couple of minutes behind. And it is Wednesday, June 28th. I hope you guys are having a great day and a great week so far. Here at Automation Unplugged, my goal is to bring you some of our industry's best and brightest and have fun conversations, help you learn a little bit more about them and their businesses. And today I have a very exciting guest. I'm excited to have Dave Gilbert, a longtime client, good buddy of ours here at One Firefly from Hi-Fi Sales. Before I bring Dave on, I am going to do what I do every week, and that is I'm going to go over to my Facebook page here and just make sure that we've got a live stream coming in. So far, Facebook Live has not let me down, and it's always there, but let me just, I can't help it. I got to check it out. And yeah, it looks like we are live. All right, cool. So let's jump right in and let's say hi to Dave. Dave, how's it going, man?
Good, Ron. How are you? Hello, everybody out there in Facebook land. It's a beautiful, awesome day here in the Philadelphia area.
Yeah? What is it a sunny day there? How's the weather? Is it cooperating?
Sunny, probably high 70s. So beautiful, beautiful. As soon as I get off of this, I'm going to go outside and put out my lounge chair. Nice.
Get a little suntan, huh? Now, Dave, you and I have known each other for a couple of years. We started working together. You became a client of One Firefly back in, I think I want to say it was 2015 or so. Does that seem right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
I think we met at a ProSource buying group event.
We did.
Yes, and you have become a great client, and you're an advocate of One Fireflies, and I genuinely appreciate that, and I know the entire team here does as well. You've grown a lot of really fun relationships with members of our staff, and I appreciate that, so thank you.
Great team.
Well, thank you, Dave. I appreciate that. I want to go and dive into you and your business. And I'd like to understand kind of where you come from as it relates to the automation industry. And I believe Hi-Fi Sales, the business based in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, started or was founded in 1979. Were you there in 1979? Or can you just give our audience a little bit of a background about yourself?
Sure. No, I was not here in 1979. However, in 1979, I was selling audio on college campus at Drexel University in Philadelphia, and that was kind of how I got into the business. Hi-Fi Sales started as a company that sold audio gear to college students to then resell to other students on campus. Because think about it, 1979, no internet. Things were done by catalog. A lot of stuff was still fair trade. The fair trade laws were still in effect. A lot of people won't remember what that is, but
I don't remember what that is. What is that?
Well, it was like if this is what the price was, this is what you paid for it, and that eventually was done away with. So we were kind of flying under the radar and selling audio to people on college campus. I was a guy on college campus selling audio. And I was selling for Hi-Fi Sales and was one of the top sales guys selling of college reps, we called them, campus reps, throughout the United States. And because Hi-Fi Sales was at that time or was in Broomall, Pennsylvania, and that's a suburb of Philadelphia, I was a student at Drexel in Philadelphia. I would go and pick the gear up and bring it back to the college campus and then deliver it to the people who bought it from me.
Okay.
Fast forward to 82 when I graduated, and I was asked to come work for them full time, and I thought
so. You were doing that actively as a student. You were selling audio, video gear to college students as a student.
I was.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and that's really before the merge of audio and video. So mostly it was audio, and of course I like everybody, almost everybody. I like not only audio but good audio. So I always had a good system in my dorm, and that's usually where the parties were.
Now, how did you then stay with Hi-Fi Sales? I mean, since that time as a sales
Yes.
rep?
Yep. This is the only real job I've ever had. I got hired in 1982, and I've been here ever since. We moved from being a division of a company in Pennsylvania from 82. We were a division, or when I worked for the division, the Hi-Fi Sales at that time, going there in 82. We left in 87 and became a completely separate company and relocated to Cherry Hill, New Jersey, where I am talking to you from right now, which is just on the other side of the Delaware River from Philadelphia. And while we were still over at in Pennsylvania and part of another company, that's when our shift started happening towards custom, before custom was even an industry where products were made specifically for residential custom. We were mostly using commercial stuff in homes, but we were doing some light custom commercially as well.
So what was that time frame, if you were to peg a year or a year range, where you started to do, what we today would call custom integrated systems in homes? What was that time frame?
Probably 83.
So you would, I mean, I know a lot of folks around the country. That has to be one of the earlier people in North America doing custom integrated systems in homes.
Yeah, we were kind of working with one hand behind our back, or one arm behind our back, because we had to figure stuff out, audio distribution, and kind of adapt things that were being used in the commercial world into the residential arena.
I mean, how would you do multi-room audio in 1983? Like, how did you make that or was that even possible?
Oh yeah. You've seen those. Maybe you haven't. You've seen those volume controls on the wall that have the silver plate and the black knob. It looked like something out of Frankenstein's laboratory.
Sure.
And then we would use those, what we call now pie plate ceiling speakers. Mm-hmm. And we developed a way to be able to distribute audio differently than it's done today, and nobody else was doing it at the time, to be able to put a lot of speakers on one amplifier. So basically, it was two-zone stereo receiver. At that time, I don't think surround sound was even happening, but two-zone stereo receiver into a second amplifier, volume controls, and speakers.
Holy cow.
Back when it was simple, man. Back when it was simple.
Back when it's anything but now. Well, I guess that's it. It depends how you slice it. I do want to address our audience. I want to thank everyone for watching us live, and please share the Facebook Live feed, the Automation Unplugged feed. If you're out there, if you're watching, there are other friends in the industry that would benefit from hearing from Dave's experiences and stories. And I know Dave well enough to know he has a bunch of those. And hopefully we're going to capture at least a few of those here and get those live. So if you're out there, please share the feed. If you're watching this in rerun and it is not 12:40 p.m. on Wednesday, June 28th, that's okay. You can still share the content. And we're also definitely want your feedback, folks. So as we go along here, I'm going to post some questions, and I'd love to hear from you. If anything right now, you can just drop a comment in and say hello. We'd love to know you're there, and just say hi to Dave and say hi to me. All right, Dave, you have a business partner. I believe his name is George Watts.
George Watts, imagine that. Last name Watts in the audio industry.
How convenient. So how long has George been your partner, and how did that, if you don't mind sharing, how did that come into being, that you had a business? Is he the only partner? Is it two people?
We have a junior partner, Nick, as well.
All right, so there are three of you. But how did it come to be with you and George?
I met George in 1976 when he was working at a hi-fi shop actually in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. And he was working there. He had previously done a stint as a teacher at IBM up in New York, but that was just something that he enjoyed doing, but he found a calling in the hi-fi world, and he introduced me to audio way back when. Fast forward a couple of years, he's running Hi-Fi Sales, a division of the company that I'm buying audio for and selling in on college campus. So he hired me in 1982, and at that point, I was an employee of Hi-Fi Sales. There were three of us. And then when we became a separate company and no longer a division of another company, he asked me to become a partner in the company, because I had a choice at that time: stay with the company we were departing from, or take a risk and go out on this new company. Actually, the same name. We kept the name Hi-Fi Sales, which is why it's still that name, just because it's a legacy name, and Hi-Fi is coming back. But so I got asked to join and come on board as a co-owner in 1987, and
Okay.
so then George is the president of the company. He been here a lot longer than me, but he has trusted me in being his business partner. And I guess the way things work out is he's more the engineering kind of guy. He's more the day-to-day nuts and bolts kind of guy, and his training and his background is in the technical world, and mine is in the business, marketing, and by I guess default an audio guy, because I've always enjoyed audio.
Do you think it's a strength that you have business partners at Hi-Fi Sales? I mean, does that help you or help the business in some way?
Absolutely. I know it's hard for many I've talked to in this industry and in other businesses to have a business partner. But when you do have a business partner, it definitely takes a lot of the strain off of you as an individual. And it also, when you have a business partner that has different strengths than yours, you can play off each other instead of having competing similar ideas. We always say if we both thought the same way, we'd walk off the edge of the earth together, following each other.
Now, Dave, what are your day-to-day response? Are you still in the business every day, or every,
Oh, yeah.
You're actively in Hi-Fi Sales?
Yeah, I am.
What are your roles and responsibilities in the business?
Primarily, let's see, not in necessarily any particular order of importance, but purchasing. I do all the purchasing, manage all the vendor relationships, and then marketing. I do a lot of marketing, although you and your team do most of that for me. I just come up with the ideas and you guys implement it all. But my background is marketing and management, so I handle marketing, I handle future development, and I go out and kind of work the crowd, work the groups of organizations that we belong to, and where we can get our specifiers from, like interior designers, builders, architects, kind of like the face of the company.
Okay.
And I still do sales.
And you still do, so you'll still meet one-on-one with customers?
Oh, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Understood. Now, we're going to try something new here, Dave, something I have not successfully done yet on one of my Automation Unplugged shows, but I'm confident this is going to go well here. So what we're going to do is I am going to switch over, and this ties into the question I want to ask you next. So what I'm doing is, let's see if I can get technology to cooperate. All right. I think we are good. So, Dave, here's the question. Many integrators, I think it's my opinion that maybe most integrators throughout North America do not operate a showroom. They run out of, some cases they operate out of their house. Some cases they run their business out of an office space with a warehouse and a design and engineering space. And your business has a showroom. And I think that puts you in a rare breed. There aren't that many firms around with a showroom. So the shot I've got on now is actually showing your website. I believe we even here on your website have a section where it features your showroom. And so here I'm just going to pull up a couple of images of the space. Can you talk to the audience about why you have a showroom and how you utilize that space?
Sure. When we first moved to New Jersey from Pennsylvania, we're still in the Delaware Valley, which is a Philadelphia market. We had a facility that had what I'll call a private showroom. At that point, and now keep in mind, this is late 87, early 88, we had, there were a lot of competing retail stores and chains in the area, many of which, or most of which, are gone. But we had intended primarily to address the market of the builders, designers, and architects. So we had a showroom which wasn't really visible from the street. If you looked at our building from the street, you saw our offices, actually, and you had to go through a corridor to get into our showroom. And we found that really helpful to be able to show our clients, prospective clients, and our builders, designers, and architects. And as we grew, we found we needed more space and started looking for another building. And again, this is 12 years ago. The building we're in now is 12. We've been in here for 12 years. There still wasn't a place to go and check out good quality audio and video, because obviously at that time the merger of audio and video had fully taken place. So we wanted a place to show people and give people the actual experience. Again, this is before the internet totally exploded, but still, we felt that to get the full experience, and not just the Costco or Walmart experience, but the full experience of the quality products that we sell, we needed a showroom to be able to show that, and we've been successful at running that.
Now, your showroom, is this by appointment only, or is this walk-in traffic? Who comes into the space?
We're a freestanding building, and next to us, shares a parking lot with us, is a high-end lighting store. So interior designers bring their clients there. They can see what we do from the parking lot and seeing through the windows. Walk-in people who are looking for a product, and they found us through a website locator from one of the manufacturers. And just people